If you've ever been unemployed for a long period of time, you know how hard it can be to try to keep busy with good habits, along with looking for jobs. But of course, you need other things to fill your time, since now you have a lot of time because you're unemployed. So this is continuation of my other series of trying to find good, kind of as much as I can, free things to do while I'm looking for a job and kind of doing this whole transition period. So I have been reading quite a bit the past few weeks, and I've been buying a lot of books like at Goodwill or Savers because they have deals, so you can get most books for like $1 to $2, which I think is really reasonable. But when I was going through it, I'm reading a couple books a week right now, trying to find a way to make it cheaper. And I thought, oh, I could go to the library. I haven't had a library card probably since like high school. I mean, college, you just, used your school ID, so that was a little bit different. But since then, I've gone to libraries to study or just to kind of go see if there's like any beautiful ones with architecture, things like that. But I haven't actually gone and checked out a book probably since high school or before. So yesterday I looked it up, and it is free. I'm assuming most cities, they have free public libraries. So here in Maricopa County in Arizona, if you can show an ID or something proving that you live there, you can get a card for free. I'll insert some of the clips I took kind of while going in and getting it, and just kind of a little bit of the library. I hadn't been in a very long time, so it was all new for me. But one positive also, if you do live in Arizona, it's getting really hot, and a lot of the libraries are cooling centers. So that is kind of a nice place. I noticed a lot of people going in there and reading and maybe doing work or studying. Because it's well air conditioned, which is really nice. Or if you just live somewhere and don't have air conditioning, that could be a good option for you as well. So I just went in, and I still have my Arizona driver's license. So I just went in to the service desk, showed them my card. You got to pick out, they had maybe 9 or 10 different ones you could choose from. I like the love sign, so I got this one, picked it out, and then she just put in my information, and then just needed a phone number and email, and just gave me the card. It also came with like a keychain one. I think I'll just use the regular card because I don't really carry keys or a keychain really. But just kind of keeping it in my purse, so I kind of have it when I go back and forth. It was super easy and free, and they kind of showed me some of the stuff you can use on the website as well if you're looking for certain books. I've kind of been liking reading kind of more almost business related books or kind of positive mindset books. Also some just regular fiction ones as well. But as I'm kind of making this transition and trying to see what I can do and what's going to be best, and kind of trying to be in a more positive mindset to be able to go back, because I don't necessarily like being here, but trying to take it for what it is. So I've been reading a lot of those kind of books. So I just got 2 yesterday, one from the same author of another one I'm reading. He kind of analyzes TED Talks. So I thought that was interesting. One thing I'm learning, I think, with making all these videos is trying to be a better storyteller and communicator. And a lot of these TED presentations are known for that. They're only 18 minutes. So many famous, well-known people in all different fields do these kinds of speeches, and are very captivating, and people rewatch them all the time. So I thought it would be interesting to read some books about the author who has studied these speakers and kind of how they go about crafting their speech and what they want to input, and using different types of techniques to keep and retain everybody's attention, whether that's from visuals or the speed they speak at, or how they deliver the information, especially if it's more data or science that could be drier to some people, like not as interesting, to make it interesting, to keep their attention so people know. So just kind of learning from that. So I got another book from the one guy. I happened to find one of his. I was looking for another book from an author from another book I had read last week, but I wasn't able to find it. I'll have to look it up. I didn't really research what was there. I was kind of just looking through the aisles, and on the nonfiction, they had just like certain aisles, like some was like getting into school. They had one section on languages, one section on like self-help, a section on business, a section on biographies, and different things like that. And then I just got another book on just some kind of Wall Street women. I just read the title and thought it was kind of interesting, but definitely a good positive activity for anyone who is also unemployed or looking for activities that don't cost a lot of money. I've always really enjoyed reading, but once I started law school, I did notice that I wasn't reading as much. I think this is due to the fact that all you do in law school and a lot of being a lawyer is reading and writing. And so I liked having a break after I would do my work or studying or whatever it may be. So now that I'm not doing that as much, I've really been enjoying reading again. I have also been watching YouTube videos on business stuff as well, but I personally do enjoy reading, and I think it's just kind of a good way to keep my attention again and kind of get back into a good positive habit that isn't just looking at the screen all day. I'm not a huge fan of audiobooks personally because I feel like my mind can kind of drift off. Same thing with podcasts. Sometimes I can kind of listen, but I'll kind of go in and out. I feel like podcasts are easier for that because you don't have to listen to like every single word. If you miss a couple of minutes, it's normally okay. But I feel like audiobooks, you kind of really have to pay attention, or else it'd be like missing reading a page or two and having to go back and redo that. So I personally like reading real books if that's the case. Obviously, when you're traveling or things like that, the audiobooks or Kindles are much better, but I kind of like the real books, and it's free. And also, once my parents leave, it's only about a 4-mile bike ride, so I'll be able to bike down there, return books, switch books, or there's a couple, I think 4 or 5 different libraries in the city that you can use the card for. So it was kind of exciting just to go there and see it and find some books and other things and kind of see how this goes. But I'm trying to do 2 books a week, so we'll see if I can keep this up through the next 4 months. It doesn't matter what type of book, whether it's just a regular fiction book or business books. I kind of go through phases. Like, I'm sure now I'll probably be reading a lot of business books, and then maybe I'll need a break and kind of go more towards fiction. I do like reading biographies and different things like that. I do like watching documentaries as well, just to kind of learn about other things. I think it's good to be informed on things that have gone on in the past or going on now and kind of how those came about. I find that very interesting as well. So we'll see how this goes, and hopefully we will